What's up, everyone? In this video, I'm going to go over the basic tools that I feel you need to do some DIY maintenance on your vehicle. Again, this is going to be a very basic list. It's not going to be a full comprehensive list to do a full engine teardown or anything like that. So before anybody flags me in the comments, it is for basic maintenance, basic things that a DIYer can do. Obviously, over time, as you get more experienced or you get more comfortable with working on your car, you will add to this. Your arsenal of tools can grow exponentially. I can tell you, I've acquired many tools over the years as I've done more DIY stuff as the years have gone on, from bearing pullers and seal installers and just specialty tools and scanners, things like that. But with that being said, this video is going to focus on the basic DIYer who is just trying to get started or may have never even touched a car before. This is just enough stuff to get you started, and then as you get more comfortable, as I mentioned, you can add on from there. Okay guys, so quick disclaimer, the tools that I'm going to share with you guys in this video is just a basic overall list that I've compiled together of tools that I think that the basic DIYer needs to get started. Again, some cars do require specialty Torx bits, things like that, to change even something as simple as an air filter. So what I would advise you doing is, if you are looking at getting into maintaining your own vehicle, do a little bit of research to understand what specific tools you may need. But the list of tools that I have in front of me is going to be true for most vehicles on the road. The tools that I'm sharing with you now are so generalized and have so many uses that even buying these tools, you're going to have at least one use for each of them. So it's not detrimental to get these tools. So with that being said, I'm going to share with you what the basic tools are that I believe you need to get started on the DIY side. And then at the very end of this, I will share with you some ideas that you can use to save money when trying to purchase these tools to help you out when it comes to getting started with DIY maintenance. So without further ado, I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you the tools that I'm talking about. Okay, so I've repeated myself many times, but it goes without saying, this is not a full comprehensive list. It is just to get the bare bones thing started and to help you start doing DIY maintenance on your vehicle. So without further ado, the tools that I laid out here in front of you are what I feel are the basic essentials that you need to get started. The first off is a good set of wrenches. They don't have to be ratcheting wrenches, but it definitely does help in a lot of situations to have the ratcheting functionality. In front of me, I tend to work on a lot of Japanese vehicles, and so with that, a lot of those cars have metric sizes. So this is a metric size of wrenches. If you work on more American stuff, you may want to get a standard size of wrenches. Honestly, in the long run, it benefits you to have both. Honestly, it benefits you to have multiples of the same wrenches, because oftentimes you'll need one for each side of a bolt. But with that being said, good set of wrenches, a variety of screwdrivers, Phillips and flat. I also recommend getting one of these tiny flatheads. These things are amazing. There is so many uses for these that it's just amazing how many things you can use the screwdriver for, especially with the little clips when you go to unclip any electrical components in the engine bay. Other thing is good set of scissors, a hammer. Again, doesn't have to be a claw hammer, but if you do any kind of DIY stuff, I'm assuming you work on your house, and so this has multiple uses from working on your car and your house. Good set of vice grips, set of wrenches, a set of pliers, I should say, needle nose, and then a set of dikes, essentially for cutting and things like that. I think is a good variety to have. A good socket set is something that will highly pay dividends. Honestly, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is actually, I know the ratchet says Husky on it. This is actually a benchtop set that I bought at Kmart like 30 years ago. So doesn't have to be anything fancy. That ratchet has long since broken. I've replaced it with a Husky, but the kit has come in handy so many times throughout the years. It has paid for itself probably 1,000 times over, if not more. The other thing I recommend is a good rubber mallet, because you don't always want to hit stuff with a hammer, at least not on a vehicle. There's a lot of components that could be damaged, but a soft blow rubber mallet can fill the gap there in terms of if you need to persuade something in the engine bay or on suspension components, things like that. The other thing is a torque wrench. I do think even for the DIYer, It is very, very important that you follow the technical specs of the vehicle, and that includes torque specs. I know oftentimes a lot of us joke about just sending it, or give it the ugga duggas on the impact gun, and once it clicks, it's good. I've even joked about that, but honestly, for suspension components, things like that, I highly recommend getting a torque wrench, just so that you can ensure that you're doing it properly and safely. And it also saves you in the long run. Over torquing stuff tends to bite you in the long run, because if you ever have to go back and replace it later, the components can break, the bolts can snap off because they've been over torqued. So again, torque wrench is good. And a bonus item I want to add is a good set of gloves. I'm not a big fan of wearing gloves myself, but as I've gotten older, I've learned you really should wear gloves. A lot of the chemicals and things that you touch when you're working on a vehicle are not good for you. Your skin absorbs those chemicals, and in the long run, it's not good for your health. So a good set of gloves goes a long way. And that is just my basic comprehensive list of tools. Again, I can't stress this enough. As you get more into this, if you do decide you enjoy working on your own car, you enjoy the cost savings of working on your own car, you're going to add to this arsenal of tools. I can promise you that. This is just the basics. One of the tools that I can think off the top of my head is a floor jack. That would help you tremendously as well when working on a vehicle, but this is just the bare basics to get you started. With that being said, I'm going to share with you a bonus, probably 30 seconds, 60 seconds at the end of this video, of places you can go to acquire these tools for a reasonable price. And I'm going to try to do a wide variety, because I know some of these places aren't available everywhere geographically. So I'll try to make sure I have something that's optional for most places. Okay, so if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I really do appreciate it. It helps out the views. It helps out the channel as well by you guys watching all the way to the end. With that being said, if you've enjoyed this and you're trying to figure out where to purchase tools to help build your arsenal of tools to get your DIY maintenance started, I'm going to share with you the list that I recommend just to help you get started. First and foremost, Harbor Freight. Some of you probably guessed it just because of the gloves. Particularly for gloves, they run deals multiple times a year on these gloves, and you can get them for really cheap. So I recommend doing that. These tools are from Harbor Freight as well. These are from Home Depot. Actually, all of this is from Home Depot. As I mentioned in the video, this is actually from Kmart, which is no longer available. But a couple of places you can get tools outside of Harbor Freight and Home Depot. Walmart has tools. A lot of pawn shops have tools. Secondhand is a great way to get tools. Garage sales is a great way to get tools as well for really reasonable. Even if none of that's available, if you at least have the internet, eBay and Amazon are also really good places to get tools as well, believe it or not. You can get a lot of secondhand tools on eBay for really cheap. You can also get some of the new tools on Amazon directly from the manufacturers of the tools. Sometimes it's even the manufacturers that make the tools for the big box stores directly through Amazon. So that's an easy way to save some money too as you build up your tool arsenal. So if you found this video helpful, please like. If you would like more content like this, subscribe and like. That tells me that you guys want to see more of this content. If I can be of assistance to help you save money, learn more about DIY stuff, answer questions about tools, things like that, throw them in the comments below. I do my darndest to answer as many comments as I get. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming, but I do try to answer as quickly as I can. So with that being said, thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you guys in that next video.